They say silence is peaceful, but the day my world collapsed, it sounded like a machine humming in a lonely break room. That's how ordinary the end of my family began. A Tuesday lunch break, half-eaten sandwich, the buzz of a vending machine that suddenly felt louder than my own heartbeat, and my phone lit up. Dad's name. One message. We're cutting all ties. Don't come around ever again. That was it. Then, before the ache could even settle, my sister reacted with a heart emoji. Just a heart. The kind people use for a cute selfie or a dog video. Not for disowning someone. I stared at it, the absurdity, the cruelty dressed as calm. I typed one line back. I'll pull my name from all loans tomorrow. By midnight, the family chat looked like a fire that I used to think family meant safety. That belief was my religion, the thing that kept me cleaning up everyone's messes, turning guilt into spreadsheets, panic into payment plans. My father ran a construction business that lived on borrowed luck. My mother, Margaret, had a gift for wrapping manipulation in tenderness. And my brother, Evan, the golden child, had a new excuse for every disaster. I was the glue. The steady one. The human bailout fund at 8024. I signed my first cosigner form. It's just paperwork, Dad said. You won't even notice. But paperwork turns into chains when the people you love keep pulling. A truck loan, a credit line, another temporary fix. From the outside we looked perfect. Matching sweaters, family dinners, smiles that didn't touch our eyes. Inside I was drowning under quiet debts and louder guilt. Then came the $80,000 loan. My credit monitoring app pinged one afternoon at work. Business loan. My name. My stomach went cold. I hadn't signed a thing. That night I drove straight to their house. Same porch light always left on for Evan, never for me. Mom opened the door, her voice trembling like a rehearsed line. You should have called, sweetheart. Inside, Dad sat in his chair like a king who never built his castle. Evan sprawled on the couch, smirking at his phone. I held up my screen. $80,000. My name. You want to explain that? Mom blinked slowly. Your father just needed an extension for the business. The business that's been failing for 5 years? I cut in. You used my credit again. Dad's jaw clenched. Watch your tone. This family needed you. You're good with money. You can handle it. You mean I can handle your mess? Evan finally looked up, grin lazy. You're being dramatic. We share blood, don't we? I stared right back. No, Evan. We share debt. Mom's voice cracked perfectly on cue. We've sacrificed everything for you. I laughed sharp, dry. No, Mom. You spent everything. I just paid the bills. Dad's voice thundered. Don't come here blaming us for your selfish choices. Something in me snapped. Years of swallowing pride and pain tore loose. You know what? I said quietly. I'm done. Evan scoffed. Done with what? All of you. Mom's tears came on schedule. How can you say that to your family? Because it's the truth. I turned toward the door. Ungrateful, Dad muttered. That word, ungrateful, was the oldest bruise. This time it didn't stick. The next day during lunch his final message came. We're cutting all ties. Don't come around ever again. Evan reacted with a heart. I typed back, calm. I'll pull my name from all loans tomorrow. Then I locked my phone and listened, to the hum of the vending machine, to the sound of freedom arriving disguised as rejection. At BY morning, my phone was a graveyard of missed calls, guilt trips, and emotional ransom notes. I didn't answer a single one. Instead, I brewed coffee, opened my laptop, and began writing emails. To the bank, the credit bureau, the insurance company. Every click was rebellion. Every signature a quiet revolution. The printer hummed behind me, papers sliding out like proof that I still existed beyond their debts. At work, my coworker glanced over the cubicle. Rough day. Just fixing some paperwork, I said. She smiled. You look calmer than I've ever seen you. Yeah, I said softly. I think I finally stopped drowning. That evening Liam, my boyfriend, found me on the floor surrounded by folders. They'll hate you for this, he said gently. They already do, I replied. The next morning I walked into the bank. The loan officer flipped through my forms, brows raised. This is a lot to untangle, he said. I've done harder things. He paused, studying me. You sure about this? Families can ruin you too. I smiled faintly. That's exactly what they did. When his stamp hit the paper, it sounded like a gavel. And for the first time, that sound didn't mean judgment. It meant freedom. That night I drove through the rain, phone buzzing beside me, Mom, Dad, Evan. I turned it face down. When I parked, the city lights reflected off the wet pavement like shattered glass. I sat there, breathing in the quiet. It wasn't empty. It was clean. 3 days later they showed up. My brother in a wrinkled suit, my parents behind him. I opened the door halfway. You shouldn't be here. Evan smiled too easily. We just want to talk. Don't be dramatic. Dramatic. I repeated. You forged my name on a loan. Dad's voice snapped. Watch your mouth. You're still our daughter. Funny, I said. You didn't sound sure when you told me never to come back. Mom stepped forward, folder in hand. Honey, families fight. But this isn't how we fix things. Liam appeared beside me, quiet but firm. You need to leave. Dad ignored him. You think cutting ties makes you strong? You're destroying us. We can't refinance without you. Then maybe, I said. You should have learned to stand without my credit. Evan sneered. You think you're better than us? You don't get to talk about better, I said. You used me to keep your life afloat. He laughed, ugly, hollow. You loved being the hero. Don't pretend you didn't. I met his eyes. You're right. I did. But heroes stop showing up when they realize the people they're saving are the villains. Mom gasped. Dad's voice dropped to a threat. This isn't over. The only thing over, I said, is my silence. We closed the door. The sound of it clicking shut felt final, like an ending that finally stayed ended. The next day, a lawyer's email arrived. My father's threats dressed in legal language. Then one from the bank. Accounts frozen pending verification. And finally from Evan. You ruined everything. Are you happy now? I opened my folder, the one stamped and signed. My name was clean. I was free. Days passed. Then the whispers started. Mom's voice messages about Dad's failing health. A cousin reaching out. A woman from our old church texting. Your parents are worried about you. They say you're unstable. Unstable. That word almost made me laugh. The only thing unstable was their control. Weeks later, I saw a link online. My childhood home listed for sale. Empty rooms, peeling wallpaper. A for sale sign leaning in the yard. I waited for guilt. It never came. That night I remembered a birthday card from when I was 16. Dad had written, "You keep us together." Back then it felt like love. Now it sounded like a warning. Glue cracks when it stretched too thin. When Mom emailed again, "You're all we have left," I almost replied. Almost. Instead, I donated the same amount she'd asked for to a nonprofit that helps women escape financial abuse. You didn't destroy them, Liam said when I told him. You just stopped saving them. Spring came quietly after that. Mornings filled with coffee and sunlight instead of chaos. My paychecks lasted. My phone stayed silent. One night. As the city lights blinked outside our window, Liam asked, "Do you ever miss them?" I thought about it. "I miss who I tried to be for them," I said. "But I don't miss them." He smiled. "Then you're free." I looked out at the skyline and whispered, "Sometimes peace costs everything you thought was love, but it's worth it." If you've ever had to walk away from people who kept you small just to feel whole again, you're not alone. Tell me your story in the comments. And remember, sometimes the quietest revenge is finally living well.